Still makes more sense than those math problems that were like, you've got 75 farm animal legs, 17 of them are a cow that's got gray spots, how many chicken legs do you have? What? I always hated those problems. It doesn't matter. You've got to use whatever side of the brain that isn't the math side and be like, oh, that's a chicken leg, that's a cow leg, that one's got weird spots. Counted. Sharpie drop, Mrs. Whatever my 5th grade teacher was. We've got the shelf colored back in, and we've really derailed from the shelf. Like, really hit a dark spot in my childhood memories. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be building the best, worst IT shelf cabinet storage solution for all your IT router knickknacks you've ever seen. This area right here is like my IT solutions cabinet. Now I know it's not a cabinet, but as you can see, it kind of works. Look how nicely organized these are laid here on the floor. Maybe not fix it, but make it look less awful. With this shelf, we're going to cut a hole here so we can run cables through it, and then just mount it to the wall and set things on it. Let's see how this super cheap Amazon shelf that is actually oddly cheap, like mind-blowingly cheap, like something, I don't know, this doesn't make sense, it's so cheap. That's going to be our solution for everything today. What's better than a bucket that catches dead flies and tree stump that catches termites, I guess, and just take it all in. And I got a beach umbrella here. This is really the logical spot, not the garage with a workbench and all that stuff in there. I may have started a project with the Buick in there, taking the exhaust apart, and it's just not okay. Now that we got this taped up to protect the surface from me, we're gonna find the center. We're gonna use math here because half of 24 is, actually I can handle that one. Half of 24 is just a baker's dozen, 11. So once you've got 11 and a half marked on here, we're gonna need to drill it. I chose a 15/16 spade bit because that was on top. Brace it up against glass, because why not? And then brace up against a pole that moves. Again, why not? And then I'm just gonna pick a spot here where, sure. It drills like cardboard, but it feels like love. That's what love feels like. A blowout from a drill at 700 RPMs. Okay, let's figure out how to fix this. Nothing will save a terrible project from shame, like a metal file used to shave down cardboard, but it's working. This is how Michelangelo must have felt when he was sculpting David or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, they wouldn't have sculpted themselves. Unless they did. Those are some real mutant turtles. Nothing looks better when you try to use a rectangular shaped file to smooth out a round hole. So we're gonna go ahead and color this with a Sharpie, because this is about equivalent to putting crappy spray paint into a crappy pen, I guess. That way, at first glance, it doesn't, oh, there's just a big chip there. No worries. Sharpie to the rescue. No one once ever said, Matt, if you would like to, be successful in life, just stay inside the lines a little bit. And I'll be like, I want to be a rebel. I don't want to stay inside the lines. But Matt, you're going to be doing this weird project with like an IT shelf and a crappy router that you rent because you can't figure out how to set up your own router from your own cable company. And you're going to need to color a shelf where you've cut it. And even as a child, I would have been like, what? I have a foolproof way of finding studs on paneling. Probably a stud. Probably a stud. Alright, there's probably two studs there. Next thing you need to do is take your level. Be sure to get the biggest level you can find, like something that's outrageously long for the project. Because you know what they say about guys with big levels? It's that they're terrible at organization. They've lost every other small level, which is exactly what's happened here. To make sure that the shelf that you cut on site on your patio table with a bit that wasn't right through cardboard and then used a file and some random sanding discs to cut it down is level. Oh, and a Sharpie to color it black. You don't want this to turn out half-cheeked, because that would be embarrassing. The real confusing miracle is we just hit 2 studs. You know, just your average stud that's 18 and a half and a squiggle on center. Man, it really feels like I built this room instead of just painting it and remodeling it. Maybe I did build this room in a past life, and that was apparently a rough life too. Remember, you get all your power from the back core, so really try to engage that core over all the others. Now we're going to see if my math paid off. Easy, easy, got one. Easy, easy, easy. What? Oh yeah. That's the amount of flex that I'm looking for in my life. Just to be sure that you're right, because at this point I'm not taking it back off the wall. What are you, crazy? Well, that's not awful. Really, that's all we demand of projects around here. So now you need to take all your IT server equipment that's just been laying on the floor in a random windowsill and start, you know, giving her a real feel-good home where she's proud to live in. So just unplug everything and run it through that magic hole that you cut and plug it back in and set it precariously on the shelf. Now we can do it with this guy. Oh, there's a lot of white paint on you. This is like when I accidentally painted the wall after I painted the ceiling. Well, good luck. There goes our internet for the next hour. Man, that is a job, well, done. You know, that's all I ask for things around here. If you like watching things get, well, finished, you should subscribe. If you are very angry that I don't finish most things I start, join the bus. My wife is the driver, captain, and tour guide of that bus, so I'm sure she'll find a spot for you in it. Either way though, have a good one. A professional installed our internet connection here using Cox Interior Net because it makes you cry every time you pay the bill and just use it. Poor guy, must have had a long day. Forgot how to spell his own job. Classic Cox.